Today we're going to be talking about the squat and why you should be doing it if you want to become the best Quidditch player that you could be. Squat, everybody knows what it is. Real quick, we're going to do a basic air squat. It's going to look like this. My hips are getting closer to the ground, and then I stand back up. That's all we want to think about when we look at the squat, all right? Now, why should you be doing the squat? There's a couple of big reasons why every single Quidditch player out there should be doing some type of squat. And we'll get more into that, but I want you to pick the squat variation that's going to be best for you. A lot of times what happens is we get into this thing like, oh, the back squat is what's the magical solution. There's no magical solution. It's let me find which squat variation feels the best for me. And I'm going to get stronger using that, all right? There's a couple major reasons why you should be doing back squats or some type of back squat. Number one is going to be, it's going to make you faster and stronger. If you're out there and you're fighting off beaters and other opposing chasers and you're not as strong as them, they're going to have a easier time doing whatever they want. Increasing your strength and speed is going to let you do what you want, how you want to do it. So that's number one. It's going to make you more athletic. Having big, strong legs, having nice, strong, or having a nice, strong core is going to be very, very important, right? Also, being able to hold the opposing team off while you're running is going to require a strong core, right? And we're going to get into more about the core stuff, but the squat and the deadlift are two big components in developing a nice, strong core, right? And to simplify what the core is, everybody talks about it, but all you want to think about is your job is to make it as solid as possible because it's the connection between your legs and your upper body, all right? If this part of your body is like a pool noodle, you're not going to have much success in terms of holding people off or absorbing contact and, continuing to do what you're trying to do while, the other team is bumping you, knocking you, trying to. Number two is it's going to make you more resilient to injury, all right? Now, the last thing that you want as a Quidditch player is to get hurt, okay? Because if you're hurt, you can't be out there helping your teammates, all right? So, lots and lots of injuries that I see, and they could be easily avoided if we strengthen this, we strengthen the legs, and put on a little bit of muscle, right? And this muscle is what's going to be helping us avoid injuries. And also, if you do get injured, having more muscle mass is going to minimize the damage and it's going to let you recover from that injury a lot faster. So those are the two major reasons why you should be doing some type of squat. And then the last thing that I would say is it's also going to help your mobility and how well you move. You should not be in pain when you're moving. Your joints and your tendon and ligament shouldn't be in pain while you're moving. You should feel good and be able to move fluidly however you want, because a more mobile athlete and a more strong athlete is a more effective athlete, right? So if you want to be a better Quidditch player, you want to be strong, fast, and mobile, right? So the squat will help you do that, okay? Now with squats, there's three things that are going to hold true for any variation. So this is what we'll go over first, okay? Number one, in any squat, I want to try to keep my torso as up and down as possible, okay? So this is what it would look like if I'm trying to do that. And this is what it would look like if I'm not doing that. Okay? So now, here's why. The more your chest drops in a squat, the more stress you begin to put on your low back. And that's not where we want the work to be done. We want the work to be done by the glutes and by the quads. And for that to happen, I need a nice vertical torso. Now, each person is built differently, right? So your ability to keep an upright torso is going to depend on you. Somebody might be able to keep it super straight up and down, that's fine. You might be a little bit more angled forward, that's fine too, as long as it's relatively upright according to your body, and that's what we're looking for, okay? Definitely none of this. So number one, upright torso. Number two, the knees and the toes always got to go in the same direction, all right? Very simple why this has to be. Number one, this lets the glutes do the job that they're supposed to. And number two, this protects the knees, okay? So when you look at somebody who's not doing this, you don't need to know anything about squats, and you know this is not a good squat, right? Where the knees are coming in. Lots of bad stuff happening on the inside of that knee. We don't want that. So we want to make sure wherever my toes are pointing, and that's going to depend on you, depending on how you're built, what feels the best for you. I want to make sure the knees go in the same direction as the toes, okay? So number one is going to be upright torso. Number two, knees go in the same direction as the toes. And number three is going to be, I want to be balanced over my foot. I don't want to be leaning forward or back, okay? So this is what this would look like. I'm nice and evenly balanced, straight up, straight down. Okay, so I'm not leaning forward at any point or leaning back, okay? This is doing the same thing for us, or is helping with rule number one, which is the upright torso. It's making sure that we're putting all of this weight and making the quads and the glutes do the work, all right? Because if I start to lean forward, again, what's gonna happen, Mr. Low Back is gonna be trying to help out, and we don't want that, okay? So those are your three keys right there for any type of squat. Upright torso, knees follow the toes, evenly balanced over your foot, okay? So the first squat we're going to talk about is the back squat. Back squat, obviously we're going to have a barbell. This barbell is going to rest here across your back, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So this is what a barbell squat, back squat should look like. The next type of squat that we'll do is the front squat. And the front squat, the only difference between the back squat and the front squat, maybe you can guess, is that the bar is going to be here, okay? And here's the really cool thing about the front squat. The back squat is actually one of the more challenging types of squats, okay? But the front squat makes you do all the things that need to happen in a squat for it to build nice, strong legs without you having to think about it, all right? The bar is going to be out here, okay? It's going to be resting on your shoulders. You're going to make a little shelf here. You're going to get your elbow as high as possible, and from here, you're doing the same things. I'm here, just like that. With the front squat, one of the important things to do is make sure you get your elbows high enough. So this can feel a little weird if you're starting out. It's gonna feel a little uncomfortable on your neck because this bar needs to be pressed up against your neck, and it might feel a little uncomfortable on your wrist. This is the reason, if this doesn't feel good to start off, go with the goblet squat. Lots of good stuff happening there, and it's the simplest one to pick up. All right, but if you are gonna try the front squat, this is the main thing that you're gonna think about right here. You're gonna grab the barbell right outside the shoulders, and then you're gonna try to get those elbows as high as possible, and you're gonna keep them up because now you've created a shelf that this bar can sit on. I'm not holding this barbell, it's sitting there, right? So my hands are kind of just keeping it in place. Okay. And last but not least, this is probably my most favorite version of the squat because literally any single person can do it, and you can get very, very strong doing this type of squat. A lot of people do not take advantage of this just because they think it's a simple version. But to be honest, this is probably the most badass, most effective version of the squat that you could possibly do. It's also the safest and also the quickest way to learn a squat too. And you can get quite a bit of weight on there, all right? And this is called a goblet squat, okay? So the goblet squat is gonna look like this. I get this kettlebell up here. I'm holding it just like a goblet. Some people like to hold it like this. Personally, I like to hold it like this. It doesn't matter, it's up to you. From here, those 3 rules are exactly the same. As with all of the exercises that we'll be going over, the key is always try to make the exercise fit to your body. Don't try to make your body fit to the exercise. So for example, I have 3 great options here that's going to be perfect for almost all different body types, okay? And all different levels, all right? So if the back squat doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel comfortable and it doesn't feel strong, I need you to make that decision, right? Of let me try the front squat or the goblet squat. And out of those 3, whichever one feels the best on my joints, on my body, and the one that I can feel comfortable and strong in, that's the one I want you to pick. And from there, you can continue to get strong. And getting strong is really the name of the game. It doesn't matter what tool you use as long as you're getting strong. And the squat is just bring your butt to the ground, bring it back up, right? And we're gonna find which one feels the best for us, right? And then continue to get stronger using that tool. So we wanna make sure that we always pick the right option, right? These are all just tools. We just wanna pick the tool for the job, all right? And the 2 things that I'm gonna mention again and again, how do you decide which one to pick? Pick the variation that feels the best, that's gonna let you continue to get stronger, all right? And you feel strong doing it, okay? Back squat's pretty tough. If you're not there yet, no worries. There's nothing special about it. You can get plenty strong. You get extremely strong, as a matter of fact, with the goblet squat. So I don't want anybody to be thinking like that's a lesser movement, all right? Lots and lots of strength to be gained. In fact, I think most people should start off there and probably spend a majority of their time there as well until you get a little bit more advanced in your training. There's just, people spend too much time on the back squat when they are not able to get strong doing it because it just feels gross, when they could have spent that time on the goblet squat, which feels good, and now they're getting stronger, now they're moving better, their mobility's getting better, and who knows, 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, we're back on the back squat, right? But don't be married to any one exercise. Be married to the goal that you're looking for. And for you, as a Quidditch player, your goal is to try to get stronger legs and a stronger core, and we're gonna find the tool that helps us do that, right? So again, this is Ranbir from Fitness for Quidditch. If you enjoy this video, please like, comment, or share. And if you have any other questions or regarding the squat, feel free to leave a comment or email us.